Hello everyone. Today, of course, as in every video on this channel, we will fight against the Admas character of our world around us, and today we will enter again the world of fantasy. This time it will be heroic fantasy literature. We will revisit our old friend Conan the Barbarian, not the Librarian, and we will also revisit the prose of one of the authors, American writer this time, John Maddox Roberts, whose works were mentioned on this channel several times already. And the novel I would like to tell you about this time is the Conan the Bold. It's the story telling us about Conan, who was when the action of this novel takes place, he is a teenager. One needs to recall that Conan, of course, archetype of real man, real warrior, who has his own simple code of honor, code of behavior. And his rules he never breaks. He was born in the battlefield. Yeah, as I told you, the perfect archetype of real man and real warrior who never gives up and obeys his own rules. And in this novel, why I like it very much, the Conan the Bold novel by John Maddox Roberts, is that Conan uses in this novel not only his sword, not only the strength of his muscles, but also his brain. He learns really quickly, not only the foreign languages he uses to communicate with people in different countries he goes through, and with his intelligence, sword and muscle, but also very much intelligence, he just makes his way through all adventures, obstacles, odds and challenges he encounters on his path. In this novel, he needs to revenge his friends and family members, but before he does it, he goes through many lands, experiences many adventures, meets many people, interacts with them in a different way, not only bloody way. And what I really like in this novel is that Mr. John Maddox Roberts offers us, I would say, some more ethnographic information about different nations of Hyborian age. So he gives some complements, some additional information to the picture of Hyborian era that was created by the genius and prematurely died by genius writer who died prematurely, Robert Irvin Howard, creator of the Conan character. Mr. John Maddox Roberts gives us some more additional, let's say, ethnographic information about different peoples of the Hyborian age, what I really appreciate, because it makes the depiction of this great era of great heroes, out of whom the best was, of course, Conan the Barbarian, not the Librarian. It makes our depiction of this great era of the heroic fantasy world much more complete. That needs to be appreciated, and I really appreciate. And of course, Conan has his own unique features of real man and real warrior that we all should adapt. That's why we all men. That's why we should read these novels. But of course, we should adapt these features properly to the times and situations in which our lives place us. But we should know that the core of these values, of the features of real men, so code of honor, being persistent, never giving up, never hesitating the fight when it's needed, and never making any compromise with things that are morally rotten or completely stupid, and never use false tricks like in these novels. Magic, that in my opinion, magic in these novels is a metaphor or bad tricks, not honest tricks, and bad moves that one does to cheat or let's say deceive the opponents or the people who regard you as a friend, to betray them. So we know that this code of honor and this way of behavior is encoded within the stereotype of real man, Conan represents perfectly. That's why to know it, and later to reapply it into our current conditions, living conditions, first we need to read the novels like Conan the Bold by John Maddox Roberts. Of course, the perfect ones are only the ones written by Robert Edwin Howard, but in my classification of the stories written by continuators of Robert Edwin Howard, the stories by John Maddox Robert I place really, really high, almost as good as the originals by Howard. So I recommend it. And one thing I need to mention at the end is that the novel I'm talking about now, so Conan the Bold, is placed out of the some chronologies which were done by some writers and editors, because some people read many Conan stories and they were trying to arrange them into the chronological order to help the readers recreate the Conan biography. Very noble venture, and I really appreciate the effort that they arranged their own chronologies, like Mr. Robert Jordan, like Glenn Gray, and within the proposed Conan chronology by Glenn Gray, the Conan the Bold novel is regarded as an apocryphal, or the tale about Conan, because it was not included within the chronology of novels he proposed, because something didn't fit for him, that if he placed it in between this and this novel, he claimed that some events would take place in the same time but in a different places, and something didn't work for him. That's why he placed this novel by John Maddox Robert out of the general scheme of Conan's chronology. Maybe it's right, I studied it a little bit. Yes, in his arrangement of novels, one can say that it wouldn't fit well, but in my opinion it's possible to arrange a proper Conan chronology also including containing this novel Conan the Bold. But okay, it's only to make some fans of the Conan stories interested, and to dig to make them dig deeper into this material and stories, also to know that there are some proposed chronologies of Conan life, just to make make work for our imagination easier to recreate the Conan's biography. If you are brave enough, you can try to arrange your own better chronology. I encourage you to that. So authors who prepared Conan's chronology, available as of now, with all stories published till 1989, were Robert Jordan till 1999, till circa 1995 William Glenn, till circa 1999 Mr. Marek, and few others. You can easily find it on the internet. Proposed Conan chronologies. So this time I recommend you Conan the Bold by John Maddox Roberts. All the best. Have a nice evening.